popcorn. This is the month where Brennan and Justin review something dark. Brandon screams out, "Oh God!" just when the horror's about to start. You wanna scream, but only 'cause it's such a bad movie. You're so unpleased. Need a podcast 'cause hate is in your eyes. Well, we are those guys, 'cause this is medium popcorn. Brandon and Justin save you from the dog shite. You know it's medium popcorn. Join us as we lose our minds at these thriller killer films.
All I know is that if I saw an ad for a nigga saying, "Come to my house, I'll share your stories and give you a bed and a nice warm bath," I'm not going to go there. My name is Eddie Collins.
Guys, this is Justin Brown, and you know damn sure I ain't going there in Canada.
Yeah, there's definitely, Kevin Smith was definitely like, I wonder if like I can make like a person of color be in this role. And then he talked to his friend Mark Bernard, and he was like, no, it has to be a white guy. This guy Wallace has to be a white guy.
Okay, so hold on.
Yeah.
So Brandon, let me just first start this off by saying this. I actually was very much enjoying this film. I was wholeheartedly enjoying this film.
Until we got to the Walrus outfit?
Huh?
Until we got to the Walrus outfit?
Until we got to the Canadian cop.
Yeah.
He, in my opinion, single-handedly tanked this film.
Wait, you're talking about the PI guy, right?
Yes.
You know who that is, right?
Yes. And he tanked the film.
Yeah.
That was horrendous.
He was really bad. And I thought the people that like his performance in this movie.
Why?
Folks, we're talking about Johnny Depp. This pre-canceled Johnny Depp. This motherfucker pops up and he is insane.
This motherfucker was out of control. Out of control. And like it really ruined it ruined the movie, and it slowed it down. Wasn't funny, wasn't entertaining, to the point where I was just like, I want to turn this off.
It was it
killed all the momentum of the film.
It wasn't it was an intense tonal shift, because what's ironic is Justin Long is also a barbarian. Justin Long is very much like is he a Scream King at this point? Like he's like the horror guy.
Yeah, oh right? yeah. He's been in a bunch of great horror films.
A bunch of great horror films. And so to that point with Barbarian, which does a tonal shift, where like the first act is one thing, then it flips to another thing, and then it changes again in the third act. Like when we get to Johnny Depp's detective character or whatever the fuck, it does become like a weird Scooby-Doo-esque thing, because then we have the girls at the convenience store that are trying to do like their clerks thing, and I know that's Kevin Smith's daughter, that's Johnny Depp's daughter, and they end up doing a movie called Yoga Hosers, I think. But then it was like, it very much changed the whole tone of the movie. And I will say, on top of that, killing the momentum, she's a beautiful actress, Genesis Rodriguez, who plays Wallace's girlfriend, Allie. But she's not a good actress. There's a reason why she kind of fell off, because they kept giving her monologues. And when I tell you, like, it was like a car screeching to a halt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was so bad at times. Haley Joel Osment looked terrible in this movie, but like he's always kind of a little rough.
Like at the end of the film, like well, towards the end of the film, like when they gave him those, when the private eye lifts up the guns, is like, take the guns. He's just like, I'm not taking it, because I've never shot a gun before. Like, bro, that was a horrible delivery of those lines. I was just like, you got to do better than that.
Yeah, and then he had the joke like, well, you're American, you should know how to use a gun, blah blah blah. I was like, damn, all right. I mean, it's low hanging fruit, and I get it. It's Kevin Smith. Like, he's never been too prolific, like Dogma aside. I mean, I'm very mixed on Kevin Smith's filmography. There's a lot of stuff that he's done that I've enjoyed. They don't quite hold up like in a 2025 lens, but it's also a different time when he got started in the 90s and things like that. This came out in 2014. A24 actually, I think released it. I don't know if like Kevin Smith self-financed because I know he does a lot of that now with a lot of his
Mhm.
movies. He gets like independent funding and stuff for his films. This is like the first major release he had after Cop Out, which was a huge disaster. Notoriously, he did not get along with Bruce Willis, even though Bruce Willis was one of his heroes.
Yeah.
But they've since made amends, especially with Bruce Willis. Like, I think Kevin Smith, like, well, he reached out to Kevin Smith when Kevin Smith had his heart attack. And then Kevin Smith said he reached out to Bruce Willis's family when the news came out about like his mental state and
Yeah.
stuff like that, health
Yeah.
status. But yeah, that movie's really bad. Cop Out is terrible. Like it's Bruce Willis and Tracy Morgan,
Tracy
and
Morgan.
Tracy Morgan's in a relationship with Rashida Jones, and I was like, this doesn't make any goddamn sense.
I'm about to get her pregnant.
He basically said that a bunch of
Yeah.
times. Um, so this movie though is interesting because it's like ahead of its time with the manosphere kind of vibe with a podcast, right? It's
Yeah.
about this guy Wallace who co-hosts the show with his friend Teddy called the Nazi Party, but it's like NOT-SEE party.
Yeah.
But like, it's a play on words that's really corny, but they have like a huge following. And basically, Wallace cheats on his hot girlfriend all the time, but then she's cheating on him with Teddy secretly. And there's like these really weird, intense like monologues that are tearful and shit, where she's like talking about how Wallace hurts her, so she hurts him, but she's in love with like Teddy. And it's just really weird. And like Haley Joel Osment just seems so checked out. I don't know if that's the direction he gave, was given,
Uh-huh.
but he seemed like so far like he wasn't even there. It was really weird.
It
That whole
it's weird because it almost feel like he's just like, "Yeah, bitch, I'm just fucking." You know what I'm saying? And it what it I kind of felt like was it's just like it's like, yeah, your husband I mean, your boyfriend cheats on you and you love him, but at the same time, I'm banging you, and that's another reason why I send him out of town to do this stuff so I can bang you. Right? And
yeah.
then which he also kinda makes sure that he doesn't take her, so she could be stuck with him getting banged out, the entire time while he's away.
Yeah.
But it also felt like is just like, well, I'm an LA it felt like an actor who takes advantage of somebody who's not in the social
Mhm.
on the same social rung of the ladder
Yeah.
as him, and he's just like, well, I'm just going to take advantage. Like it felt like it was almost like he was playing himself, a piece of shit version of himself. And I don't know if Haley Joel Osment is a piece of shit, but it's like that's what it
Well,
kind of felt like to me.
he recently got, I think, arrested for like being drunk and disorderly at a ski lodge.
I mean, but that doesn't
Yeah, like
necessarily
he's been arrested a few times because I remember he
okay.
had a DUI when he was pretty young. Because I ran into him not long after that DUI when he
Mhm.
was definitely supposed to not drink anymore.
Okay.
And I like ran to him like at a rave at, like Greenpoint, and like I was just like, "Are you Haley Joel Osment?" He was like, "Yeah." I gave him a beer. I gave him a PBR because I was a broke like grad school student,
Yeah.
and so
He's just like
but I've done that a few times actually, where I've like hung out with some celebrities where like I give them a drink or like I offer them a drink, like to buy them a drink, I get it, and then I remember like, oh, they have like drinking issues, like publicly. Like I feel so bad. Anyways, I
Why
didn't
don't you
cause
just say why don't you
very
say, "Hey, man, I enjoy your work, and, best of luck to you," and then just keep it pushing. You don't have
well,
to buy them
some of them are
anything.
some of them are famous comedians. You know what I mean? So like sometimes when you're at shows and stuff, like that's part of the culture. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. I
I'm not trying to out these people, but yeah, it's
no, I know, but I'm also like, well,
but you
I
don't
mean,
drink
because I don't
too,
drink
Yeah.
yeah, because I don't drink, I don't
You would
I never think to buy people
especially back
drinks.
at this time, like, and like, this is like 10 years ago or something like that, you would have been like the weird one. You know what I mean? Like, cause you don't
Oh, yeah,
drink.
yeah, yeah. No, no, but that's how I felt
Yeah.
in a lot of circles because I don't drink. Like yeah, and like especially like UCB, like everyone was doing drugs around me and shit like that because I wasn't drinking. I was kind of on the outside of a lot of circles, and then also like I wasn't the stereotypical UCBer. So like yeah, it was a weird space for me to be in.
Yeah, man. It's like if you worked at SNL back in the 70s and you didn't do cocaine, they'd be like, you fucking narc.
Yeah, yeah.
What are you gonna do? Go call my mom narc? I'm gonna write a sketch about you, bitch. It's just so
And well, but then it's like, being around, some of those kinds of people, and then they have all these egos, and
mm.
you know me, I'm an ego checker.
Yeah.
I'll tell somebody real quick. So it's like, yeah, I just wasn't popular in the like a drug or alcohol induced area. And then like if you're gonna have an ego and try to be a dick to me, it was just like it's not gonna work for you. It's like, well, it's not gonna work for me in that sense.
Yeah. I want to talk about Justin Long a little bit because he is
Mm,
the lead in this movie. We watch him go through some fucking harrowing, terrible situations, right?
yeah.
With this crazy nigga named Howard. But I did write down Justin Long doesn't really age. He's like Paul Rudd. We're
Hmm.
like I've heard really like nice things about him. I hope that he's a nice guy and
Yeah.
stuff. But like you know what I mean? Like because he does like comedies, he does horror films and stuff. And you know, oh, Lluvia saying, "Oh,
No,
is he not a good
just
guy?"
kidding. No, Brandon, just don't
Oh
go with
no, oh no.
it.
All right, well, oh,
There's
well.
stories, baby.
Anyways, I just want to say he doesn't age. He doesn't really
Mm,
age. Like if you watch this movie and then you like watch Barbarian or like he did like another movie. Oh, Weapons. I was like, oh,
yeah.
he looks a little older, but like he still looks good because there's some people that
Mm,
have fallen apart. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah.
Everything. So the whole like catalyst for this movie, like jumping off, is that Wallace and Teddy do this controversial podcast, and then Wallace is going to fly to Canada to interview this kid that's called the Kill Bill kid, who became an internet sensation after he accidentally cut off his leg with a katana.
Yeah.
Looks terrible, by the way. Like it looks, the graphics are really bad, but
I mean, but it's also hilarious.
yeah, but it became popular because of their podcast. So, like, they asked, supposedly the kid asked them to interview him. So Wallace is like going to go, but then his girlfriend's like, I don't want you to go. I think it's really cruel what you're going to do with this kid. He's like, no, it's going to be funny, blah, blah, blah. No, she's like, you're not. And this is all through like different like flashbacks throughout the movie. It like kind of like stunts the momentum of the movie. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of how this movie was edited because at
Mhm.
one point she's like, "Oh, I miss the old Wallace. He used to be emotional. Like he used to like, be a good
Cry
guy."
versus
Yeah,
watching
and
fucking
he's like,
whatever.
"Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, old Wallace was a shitty comedian who could barely pay the bills, and now like I sold 100,000 just for ads alone and blah blah blah." Because he's like a shock jock at this point
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And so, like I said, this movie is kind of ahead of its time in regards to like this lane of like popularity, like podcasts becoming popular and stuff
Mhm.
like that, and like people not apologizing for being assholes and
Yeah.
douchebags. You know what I mean? And so he goes to Canada, specifically Wanataba. And then he finds out that this kid, it's not funny, but this kid killed himself.
Yes.
And so then he's like, damn, I don't want to waste this trip. So then he tries to find someone else to like
And
make
it's
fun of him.
Manitoba.
Manitoba. What I say?
Winnetaba. What the fuck
I
is
didn't
wrong?
say Winnetaba.
Yes,
Did I
you
say Winnetaba?
did. You said Winnetaba. Wataba? Where's the W?
Oh man, it's so bad. I'm so bad with words sometimes. I'm not as,
Manitoba.
I'm not as
Jesus
bad
Christ.
with words as I am with like song lyrics though.
Fair.
Song lyrics are bad.
Fair.
Yeah, it's
Fair.
real bad. Um, yeah, because I learned some new. I got some clarification, some song lyrics while I was in New Orleans. I was like, my world was rocked. I was like, that's what you were saying this whole time. Okay.
It's been 30 years.
So he finds at a bar, he finds a flyer offering a free room and guarantee of interesting stories, right?
Yes,
And
in the
it's done
bathroom.
in the voiceover by Michael Parks, who plays um, this character. What was his full name? Howard Ho, who claims to be a retired seaman who is in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those situations, Justin, where like this is 2014, right?
Mm.
2014. So I feel like everyone once in their life, like by the time they're an adult, has seen or is familiar with the story of Dracula, right?
Mhm.
Everything about Howard's home, the way he talks, the way he carries himself, everything about that is a red fucking flag. I don't know. Even as a white guy, I feel like you should have some questions. You should have some concerns. He immediately accepts this nigga's tea,
Mm.
which I'm like, no, don't do that." You know what I mean? For me, there was like no fight or flight, and it just showed such a level of like privilege and arrogance and like ignorance that I guess maybe from a 2025 lens is like very frustrating. But even in 2014, man, I mean, this is what was happening around this time. We were almost done with the Obama presidency. I guess a lot of people maybe felt so safe because that's like a time when we weren't really.
Yeah,
I mean, we were still at war and stuff, but like,
but Brandon, I think the thing that makes this so hard to watch, like, because even when he was speaking to Howard Howe or whatever, um, he was he was really being a prick.
Yes.
He
Yeah.
would like
Like he
it
showed him
was just like
the
you
walrus dick and he like the bone and he's just stroking it like, oh yeah. Like
well, and he's like kind of talking over, like he's like making small little side comments and things like that. It was like I was just like, whatever's about to happen to you is just like you are making it worse every time you open your fucking mouth. But like
yeah.
he showed a lack of respect because like, all right, if let's say I put a flyer up there and I wasn't, trying to do anything that was, wild or weird or anything
Mhm.
like that. And literally just like, hey, if you need a place to stay, like my house is open. I just want the company. I'm an old man or some shit like that, right? Um, and someone came into my house and was talking the way that Justin Long's character was talking in this film. I've been like, oh, this kid is a fucking asshole, and I wouldn't want him
Yeah.
to be there.
I understand that, Justin. But even to that point, that doesn't mean that this nigga deserves to be tortured and turned into a
No, no,
walrus.
no, no. I'm not saying he deserved to be tortured,
Yeah.
but it's just like you don't get nothing good happens when you approach people
Oh
with
yeah.
the kind of with the attitude and just the lack of fucks that he gave.
Yeah.
Meeting
And
and to think an old man who is supposedly a World War II vet and everything. Like like I would be so like he's like, yeah, I was in World War II. Da, da, da. I'd be like, oh shit. And it's like I'm
yeah.
sitting down and I'm listening to him intently. I want to hear all of the stories, but he's like over talking him. He's like making these ridiculous little quips and shit like that. And I'm just like, bro, shut the fuck up and relax. And like that was the part I was just like. I knew that things were not going to go well for him. It was just like he's doing too much. He's doing too much. And
Yeah, but
anytime
to that
someone does
point,
too much in the movie, it's over for them.
and I hear that. I think it would have been better if maybe they downplayed him, like, being such an asshole to everybody. Like, but because they just hit you over the head within the flashbacks with like the girlfriend. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I get it. He's a douchebag. He's an asshole. Like, I understand.
But
Right.
even so, but like, and then even with that, it's just like we just have this, and I know part of it is because, back in the day, horror films, there was always this morality thing that they were doing. And because a lot of the horror films do have some religious connotation to them and things
Yeah.
like that, is like the person who,
Sweet Jesus.
yeah, the person who is
The blood of the goblins and stuff.
immoral or
Yeah.
or non-chase,
Yeah.
they're gonna get they always have the worst
Yeah.
deaths.
Star Chaser and stuff like that. I know.
Yeah, so it's like, so that was a part of it as well. I was just like guys, I know what we're doing here, but like we don't need to do like he was enough to watching the way that he was uh watching the way that that he was like interacting with the world. That was enough that we didn't need the whole girlfriend thing and yada yada yada. In my opinion,
Yeah. It was such a weird, like I said, all those scenes were like, they didn't need to be out of order, out of sequence. Like you could open with like her like, get blowing him and now letting him come and them having this conversation because then it's like, whoa, what's going on? Like, and him being like, you're committing a crime because you're not letting me finish, blah blah blah. And then you
mm,
cut to the podcasting, show that he's a douchebag, that he like
yeah,
has suppressed feelings, whatever, like all that stuff. And then you get to the story. You can still do that without the weird, because it goes from him being knocked out, right, with the T from Howard to then having that flashback, that first flashback. And it's like, okay, but like, I rather just jump to the fact that he wakes up and his legs are fucking gone. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Let's get this going. And I just felt like every scene with Genesis Rodriguez like slowed the movie down incredibly. And she just isn't very good. I felt like it was like kind of like trying to get water from a stone when she like had to cry. And she had to cry a lot in this fucking movie.
yeah.
It was like 50 Cent and Get Richard trying to get Richard Die Trying. It was just like the lip quiver.
What was that movie where he got all skinny for it?
Oh yeah, that was an army movie. Like I don't remember what I never saw it.
Yeah, neither
I
did
never
I. I was
saw it.
wondering, did he get all emotional in that one too?
I probably, man. I wouldn't be. Also, when he starts drinking the tea, Wallace immediately is like, "This tea tastes different than anything I've ever had." Nigga, fight or flight. Like, stop drinking the tea.
Yeah,
Unless that shit is like from some like European or like Asian country. If it's just regular green tea and it tastes weird and different, then nigga stop sipping. Because tea is tea. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
unless it's some exotic shit, it shouldn't taste unlike the flavors you've had before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Come on now. Sometimes when you're inebriated, you can get past that. But this dude was cold sober. He wasn't
Yeah.
smoking joints. He wasn't drinking on the way there. He stopped by a convenience store to like we know where we meet the Johnny Depp and Kevin Smith daughters or whatever the fuck who were lackadaisical. We later learned that he was an asshole to them, even though they're like, they're being kind of like passive or whatever, doing their
Yeah.
clerks thing. But he is like, you're right. Like he is fucking firing all cylinders. And I guess maybe it's supposed to like be a display of American arrogance, which is just even worse now. So again,
Mhm.
Kevin Smith was ahead of his time and like some of the things he touched on, especially with his Wallace character. But like you said, the execution of it, by the time we get to the Johnny Depp weird detective character, and what's that character's name?
Um,
Guy Lapointe
yeah.
or whatever the fuck. That's when it got real fucking nuts.
Yeah. It was too much. It was too much. And
Also,
it's way too much time with him.
they're saying that this dude Howard was killing like he killed like 23 people
Yeah.
doing this shit.
And he was 24.
Oh my god! I mean, that's fucking crazy, dude. Because there's all those dead walrus bodies at the bottom of that water, which I was like, that is disgusting. Because that water is contaminated, and
Mhm.
you making him swim in that shit when he's covered up in all that big blubber, human skin, whatever the fuck that
Yeah.
was. Also, I would have definitely asked, like, how are you in a wheelchair? But you posted a ad in the bar on a billboard that's definitely above like the height that you can reach from even with your arms in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
Like,
also, I ain't driving 2 hours outside of my way to catch a fucking story of some old
no.
man.
You know what
No.
I would have done? I would have interviewed those two girls, the clerks. I would have been, y'all's vibe is different. Like, let me talk to y'all. Let me pull out my phone and interview y'all. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many different. Even the character that he met, the fucking. I would have tried to find the guy at the customs when he's going through the airport, and he had that interaction
Yeah,
with the guy.
yeah.
He was like, oh, we don't. What do you say? We don't say
You don't tell a Canadian that you don't follow hockey.
hockey. And then there was something else at the end that he said that I kind of like chuckled at, where I was like, oh, like I would go to that guy. Like, there's so many other people he encountered that he could have talked to besides driving 2 hours to go fucking meet this stranger. And mind you, he hasn't told people where he's going. He only tries to call them after his cell phone's gone, after he realizes his legs have been amputated, when the dude's trying to be like, oh, a spider bit you, and we couldn't call the doctors, so I had
Yeah.
to get a little freaky. Like,
Also, it's just like a brown a recluse. I mean, like a a recluse. He wouldn't knock you out because first of all, I'm very afraid of spiders. But a brown recluse spider, they have fucking like it's like acid. That shit will eat down to your fucking bone.
oh shit.
Like, yeah. It eats your skin away. Like that shit is no fucking joke.
So
UV
he
in the
used the
chat.
right spider.
My brother got bit by one. Yeah, almost lost his leg. Fucking, that ain't no fucking joke.
Damn. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Ooh. And where do they usually like habitat? Like where are they usually
Actually, I don't think that they're in Texas. They're in like the South. So they're in the lower halves because they're in like the warmer, drier climates and shit like that. So they're like the South and Texas moving across and like some parts of middle America. You don't typically find them. You're not going to find them in fucking Canada. It doesn't make it makes zero sense.
Unless someone smuggled them through, because I have been watching a lot of YouTube videos on the border crossings and border security, like at airports, and motherfuckers be trying to bring in wild stuff on the planes.
Yeah,
they be
like,
trying to
what are y'all
bring in
doing?
wild stuff through customs. They're like, yeah, if you bring this in, this could change our ecosystem. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Oh, one thing I was talking to Paul. Paul's brother was in town recently, and just randomly talking. And I basically told him how like basically hockey was created by fucking African slaves that escaped to Canada.
Yeah.
Blew his fucking mind. He was just like, "No, that's not real." I'm just like, "Yeah, it is."
Did you show him cool runnings afterwards?
Feel the rhythm.
Let me show you more black people on ice. Oh, let me show you the Mighty Ducks. We're the Jesse kid. There's a black kid. There's a Negro.
Yeah.
Maybe we could go to knuckle puck time. That'd be fucking wild if you just showed him a bunch of black ice sports dramatized in movies and shit.
Check this out.
Yeah, man, that
That's
movie.
Malik Yoba.
Oh my god, that'd be fucking nuts. I did laugh when Justin Long's character said, "I don't want to die in Canada" when he's leaving the voicemail to his girlfriend.
Yeah.
I was like, fair enough, bro. I was like, yo, but to your point earlier about Haley Joel Osment's character, he is a fucking asshole. Everyone's an asshole in this movie. That's also the thing
Mhm.
that I had an issue with. Everyone's an asshole because he saw that Justin Long's character was calling him after you just heard his girlfriend slash your side thing say he hasn't called me in 2 days, which is not like him.
Yeah.
He's calling you now. Like clearly something's up. And he doesn't even ignore it. He just hears a buzzing, but then she should hear it buzzing too. It was such a weird scene where I was like, why is no
Mhm.
one talking to each other?
No. The ringtone actually rang.
Yeah. And he's
It's
just
not like
brushing
he
his teeth
heard
with
it
electric.
buzz.
Yeah, they could hear
Yeah,
it.
the ringtones, I was just like, how are y'all just
She should
you
have been
just
like, is that him? Like, yeah, it was crazy.
nuts.
And then they were
Oh,
fucking all night.
he was getting his nuts. That's why.
Yeah, and they were fucking all night because she didn't get the voicemail till the next morning and
Yeah, she
stuff.
was
It was just like,
disheveled.
yeah, and well, I was also like, why didn't why didn't they just break up? You know what I mean?
Because she was probably using him for access to things, and then what if they broke up, she's gonna get with Haley Joel Osment's whatever.
Teddy.
Um yeah, she was gonna get with Teddy, and it probably would have been weird. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it
You know,
was
it
nuts.
basically they complicated their whole situation the way that it was.
Mhm. Yeah. Um, I did write down. I said if I were Justin Long, right in the horror movie filmography he's done,
Mm.
I would prefer Jeepers Creepers Fate than this shit. Am I right or wrong on that? I would rather a monster just fucking kill me. Well, to be fair, we don't know how the creeper actually kills him. We know that the creeper takes out his eyes and he's
And
dead already. Is
no,
he
he's
dead?
not. No.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
Both of
want to
these are
live.
horrible.
Yeah, both of them are really bad. Both
I
of them
don't know
are
if I want
really
to live
bad.
as a fucking a walrus,
Yeah,
a man.
that's the thing. Like, I don't know which is worse. Maybe I think probably the walrus is worse because at least with like with the Jeepers Creepers things, if I like I might have my eyes pulled out of my body, right? But
Mhm.
like if I think he was dead, dude. But if I'm still conscious though, maybe I can use my arm to try to get something to impale my brain to take myself out. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Because as a walrus, he can't do anything. All he can do is grunt. They put a fucking bone in his mouth where he can't even talk. It's fucking nuts, man.
The best thing that he could possibly do is drown himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
But drowning is a terrible, terrible death,
Yes. Yes.
my opinion.
Oof. That's I mean, there's no good choices for these characters. Justin Long,
Yeah.
he be playing some characters because you know what's crazy about Jeepers Creepers? Everything he's done after that, he's been kind of like a likable douchebag, an asshole, right? In these movies, right? That does
Mhm.
terrible things. Jeepers Creepers, he was pretty fucking innocent.
Yeah.
He was just trying to drive back home with his sister.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know what,
Uh,
Brandon? Being you on your writing gigs, Brandon, I'm gonna commission you to write a movie. And I want to be in the film. I want you to give me the worst fucking death that you can think of.
okay. Okay.
Write a
Okay.
movie for me with the worst fucking death that you can possibly think of.
Okay. That might be tough. I recently watched some that Terrifier movie, man. That fucked me up. So
I've
I'll
never
try to
watched
think of
it.
some. Dude, it's real bad. Like it's fucking and I heard they get better, which is wild. Like they get better like entertainment value and stuff. But like the first Terrifier, there's some fucking wild deaths, man.
How many of them are there?
There's three. And I think they're working on the fourth one from what I
Oh,
understand.
okay.
Yeah. They do really well. They're like low budget horror films.
Yeah, yeah, I
But
heard.
they,
I
they
heard.
they do really well, apparently. Um Yeah, I wrote down I wrote down my notes with the fucking cop when they finally like Haley Joel Osment and the girlfriend go to like the authorities and they're trying to find Wallace and the one cop was like, "Are you sure it's not good old monkey shines?" I was like, what?
Yeah, but you know what though? That they actually do that shit though.
Oh, they actually say that stuff?
Well, not no, not well, monkey, whatever the fuck he said. But is with like,
I
yeah,
mean,
you
they
sure it's
are
not
up.
a joke?
Yeah, they are up like
Like,
in the more isolated parts of like Canada. It's not like it's Toronto or Quebec or anything like that.
no,
So
but like I remember like the one time that like I went to the police like when my identity got stolen, they had shit like that, and they were truly on some shit. It's like, we don't believe you. You know what's going on, and I'm just like, no, I'm coming here for a reason. But like they were kind of just like, and just like blowing it off. It was just a really shitty feeling when somebody's just like, yeah, it sucks. It
yeah,
sucks when you have an officer who's just like, this is not a big deal like you're making it out to be. I'm just like, sir, sir, shut the fuck up
yeah,
and write this down.
yeah. Cops are weird.
Yeah,
It's
because yeah, they clearly take certain kinds of people seriously and others and others
oh
they
yeah,
don't. Yeah.
yeah, for sure, man, for sure. Um, trying to think of where that fucking walrus costume, whole human skin, and then he's doing all this because he wants to fight the walrus that supposedly saved him during a shipwreck. He had the guy Howard had a bunch of fucking soliloquies where it felt like kind of like the Joker. Like I didn't know what was actually real and what he said. You know what I mean? And we
Well,
never.
it's just like he was in like an orphanage where he was like being raped by
Yeah.
like everyone, like even the nuns were raping him. It was just like Jesus Christ. And then he escapes to orphanage and then he basically gets on boats and then the boat gets capsized and
He
you
got
know,
rescued by Mr. Tusk, but then he had to kill and eat Mr. Tusk in order to survive, and he's been overwhelmed with guilt. So he's basically been turning his victims into his savior in an attempt to relive their last day and give Mr. Tusk a chance to survive. So he basically
yeah,
suits himself up in a weird walrus mask and forces Justin Long to fight him. Justin Long is successfully able to kill him, and he's finally like basically like relieved like of
yeah,
his burden of his guilt or whatever. And
yeah.
Yubi is saying this is a real story in Canada, which is nuts.
The size of what we're saying, but the orphanage.
Jesus
Yeah, but
Christ.
bro, I'm gonna tell you one thing. When you're somewhere like desolate areas, you get some wild fucking stories from those areas because there's nobody to help you.
Oh, yeah,
Like
yeah.
have you heard this story in Canada about like the guy that was killed on like a Greyhound bus?
No.
Ho ho ho
What's
ho!
that about?
Buckle in. So a guy was on a long distance Greyhound bus somewhere in Canada,
Wait,
and
wait, wait. I gotta put
base
my seatbelt on. Hold on. All right, let's go.
there
Let's
you
go,
go.
baby.
Long distance trip in Canada, and they were sitting next to him, and the dude next to him basically just pulled out a knife and just started stabbing him. Right. So then
Like, because
everybody,
Canada, they don't have guns really, right? Or is
no,
that
there's
just
gun.
London?
No, there's guns.
Oh, okay. But you
It's
just took
just
out a knife instead.
it's just not as prevalent as here.
Got it. Yeah, yeah.
Everywhere, everyone's gun problem is very minuscule to ours. Um,
That's why I
guy
said
starts,
it's low hanging fruit, that joke about the guns in
yeah,
America, but whatever. Yeah.
but dude just kind of just starts stabbing this guy on the bus so that everybody just gets up and runs off the fucking bus. Everybody gets off the bus and like the Canadian Mounties show up and they have like flashlights, telling the guy, get out of there, da 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 da. And the guy basically he's sitting on the bus and he holds up the guy's fucking head, severed head. He basically stabbed this guy with like I think it was a pocket knife, something like that, but he ended up cutting this guy's head off and putting up to the window, whatever. It's a
Didn't we see that in a
wild
movie?
shit.
We saw that
No,
in a movie, like no, not like that on a bus or anything like that, but we definitely saw someone. I don't know if it was a pen or something like that, stabbing someone in the neck, basically where they decapitated them. That was fucking. That's
bro,
gnarly.
that's just
That's
wild. That's
crazy.
just with a pen, but like, yeah. So like, and I believe that like that story started getting people is like, I don't want to ride the bus anymore because you do sit next to weird people on the bus. I know we talked about a long time ago where I took the bus and I had the fucking it was almost like a race riot on my fucking bus. I'm
Yeah,
sitting next to these niggas. I was going head to Atlanta, but it's like the bus can be pretty fucking gnarly.
I know. Thanks for reminding me. I'm about to take a bus this weekend to Maryland, so that's gonna be
You're welcome, nigga.
Because why the train was more expensive than a fucking plane, and flying to Baltimore just seems weird. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it's so close. It's gonna be like a 45-minute flight. So I was just
Yep.
like, let's take the bus. It's like 3 hours. But then I'm like, it's the bus, you know? So
Yeah. Are you why don't you just rent a car? Oh yeah, the gas and everything would be
yeah,
more.
it's gonna be the same amount as maybe a train at that point.
Yeah.
And also the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. Like, wish me luck, everybody, if you listen to this. I mean, I'll be back by the time you listen to this episode. Um, this movie was filmed in 15 days, which isn't bad. It had a budget of 3 million. It did only make $1.88 million though.
Yeah.
Because at this point, like Kevin Smith, I mean, his biggest hit was Dogma, and even then, Dogma was a modest hit. I don't think it was a huge box office hit.
Yeah.
Or
It's more
maybe
of
Zach and
a
Miri.
cult classic.
Yeah, maybe Zach and Miri actually made more because they had Seth Rogen, who was like right off of Knocked Up at the time. But
Yeah.
apparently Quentin Tarantino was originally offered the role of Guy Lapointe, but declined. And Johnny Depp improvised most of his dialogue in that character, which you could
Yeah, he's
definitely tell
horrible.
because he was repeating himself several times.
Yeah.
He said, the thing is, I'm like, well, apparently Johnny Depp, like, he is not able to take care of himself. I remember reading a Rolling Stone article about how like inept he was at kind of like understanding like his finances and understanding like how he takes care of his lifestyle. I think he just got to a point where he was making so much money where he was just like, like when you make a certain amount of money and then you realize you have certain luxuries available to you now. I think
Mhm.
he just got so used to that he never thought about like, oh, if like I stop working or if things, start like cooling down for me, this stuff doesn't keep up. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I even heard a story about someone who worked in like his circle who not worked in the circle, but worked at a hotel that he was staying at. And
Mhm.
that he called the front desk and asked if he can get a toothbrush because he didn't know where to get one from. And they
Yeah.
were like, I mean, we can send you one, Mr. Depp, but he just sounds so hopeless on the phone. Like, do you know how
Hey,
to get a
hey,
toothbrush?
can you give me a toothbrush?
Fucking wild, man.
What kind of toothbrush? A, t- a toothbrush?
Mark Parks' dialogue. I'm reading some of Lluvia, our producer's trivia. She said Michael Parks' dialogue includes the word chuffa, a callback to Smith's difficult experience directing Bruce Willis. Yeah, he hated Bruce Willis for a while. Like, and he has a few popular podcasts I listen to, and
Mm.
he would talk like at length about the challenge of working with Bruce Willis.
Yeah,
And that stuff
which is
that
funny because you had Bruce Willis and Tracy Morgan in a film,
yes,
and Bruce Willis was the problem.
yeah, that's fucking nuts. But like that's the thing is like these '90s like action stars. I think that's one of the reasons why Bruce Willis like eventually Arnold became the governor of California, right? So he didn't went in a different direction. But I think that's why Bruce Willis, um, to an extent, Kevin Costner, people started phasing out who were these huge early '90s stars because they were notoriously
Van Damme,
difficult. They were
Van Damme,
notoriously difficult to work with. They were very
Steven Seagal.
egotistical. Yeah, and also like there was an article that just recently came out in a Hollywood Reporter about Kevin Costner and how
Mm.
big of an asshole. I mean, it's always been known how big of an asshole it was, but now how it's like hurting him financially and like with those Horizon movies and stuff, he's in the hole like significantly and stuff. It's
So
you read what you
it's
sow.
funny. Um, what was that weird movie that we did with Tom? It was the casting director, fucking the movie with the guy from well, from Iron Chef,
Yeah, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Mark the
Yeah, it's
Damascus
like
or whatever,
yeah,
the Brotherhood of the Wolf or something like
yeah, something
that.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So so I was reading a thing. It said like that movie actually kind of hurt a lot of like actors like Steven Seagal, Jean Claude Van Damme, and things like that
Hmm.
because the fighting was so was far more like practical and realistic that and because the way he actually did martial arts in that and they kind of kept it kind of real like that raw gritty martial arts hurt all the glitzy shit that like Van Damme and Seagal were doing like back in the day and then slowly audiences were more preferring that kind of stuff
Mm,
as opposed to them, which helped kind of phase out those careers a lot faster.
okay.
Like the writer of it said he kind of wished that Brandon Lee didn't die when he did at such a young age, because
Mm.
he probably would have ushered in that kind of movement earlier, earlier. So,
Yeah.
like, all that shit would have came about, sooner, as opposed to, you know,
Mhm.
when it did. But it's like it was just an interesting thing, because I'm like, I didn't think I'd ever hear anybody talk about how that film, how that movie, The Brotherhood of the Wolf, kind of changed the movie industry. But like,
Yeah.
thinking about it, it was kind of like the way he kind of played that character, and the way he did that martial arts, that would be something that would kind of screw up, like, those high kicks that Van Damme and
Yeah.
them used to do back in the day.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's also like, it doesn't, you also realize like, in a movie like that, and like, later on, like shows like Game of Thrones and stuff, it doesn't have to be these flashy kick, like unrealistic kicks and stuff like that. Like, people
Mm-hmm.
actually like regular schmegular people fighting for their life. You know what I mean? Like, in
Yes.
realistic ways. Like, I think that's one of the things that gets lost in the Game of Thrones conversation, because the last season was so bad and divisive. Is like, yo, those scenes where Jon Snow and the fucking wildlings and shit are fighting, especially the Army of the Dead. Those are some of the coolest like army like battle scenes I've ever seen. Like outside of like Lord of the Rings, like Saving Private Ryan and shit like that. Like
Yeah.
this is epic stunt work and like coordination and like just the creative team just being on point, and that's so hard to do. And if you have a douchebag actor that like it's all
Mm-hmm.
centered around, who doesn't even want to do half the work, that's where it becomes a headache. That's why we haven't gotten fucking Fast 10 Part 2 or whatever the fuck,
Yep.
because it's just so absurd where Vin Diesel is taking the franchise now. They can't even afford to make the last one
Yeah.
because
It's a damn
he's not
shame.
going to tone it down. He,
No, no, no,
what
no, no.
he tried to post
Well,
about,
and the
oh, we're
fact that
taking
they're
it back to
saying
the
that
streets.
that it's gonna be grounded a little bit more, it's like,
Yeah,
how? How?
exactly. You can't go from that cliffhanger where niggas are popping up like out of like submarines, and it's Gal Gadot who's somehow alive, and then like you just blew up a dam, and like these niggas just blew up over here in a helicopter thing, and then it's just like, hey, we're gonna go back to street racing to LA. Like that doesn't make any goddamn sense. The only way it makes sense, dude, is literally if they do a flash forward, like, and they just forget the fucking cliffhanger, and it's like
Yeah,
Brian's kid and his kid, and they're older, and they do like a similar, they do like a new generation thing. That's the only way that could work now.
yeah,
And even then,
and
fans are gonna be like, "What the fuck?" It's
yeah,
crazy. Anyways,
yeah. So what happened? Finish
I
the
can talk about the
story.
I can talk about the corner that Vin Diesel's backed themselves into all day, because that's gonna be one for the history books. I don't know how they're gonna do that. I'm sure,
Yeah,
if Jason Momoa's like, I haven't gotten a script, I'm like, you ain't gonna get a script, nigga, because who's gonna figure out that plot hole?
yeah,
Breaking Bad, they used to say that they wrote themselves into corners at the end of every season, because that's like
mm,
the end of every season. Then the next season picks up right in that scene, right?
yeah.
How the fuck? It's been what, 5 years, like 4 years now since the last movie. That's
Has it been
literally
that
it.
long?
Literally ended on a cliffhanger where you have to immediately pick up where they left off, and the kid is like probably a teenager now, if not older.
Wait, no, no. It's only been about like 2 years.
Okay, but still, they don't even have a script, which means they haven't solidified casting, they haven't solidified locations, which is going to take another year. It's a global film franchise.
That's true.
Then you have to coordinate the actors. Remember, they have such big actors now. They got Brie Larson, Jason Momoa, Ben Diesel. They got fucking Michelle Rodriguez, Ludacris.
Gal
Well,
Gadot.
Gail Gadot. Well, I mean, her career's died down, but you got Charlize Theron. She's still a big part of it. Jason
Yep.
Statham, still a big part of it. Like, how the fuck are you gonna? Like, no one's gonna be in the same room, and The Rock is back.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you doing? Anyways, all right, Tusk. What the fuck were they doing when they made this shit?
Well,
Uh,
like, but again, Brandon, like I was saying at the beginning of this episode, it's like I was actually digging the film, but then like once Johnny Depp jumped on the screen, like it got really bad. He
oh
slowed
yeah.
down the film so much, and I was just like, what is happening? Like I was like in the film,
Mhm.
and then Johnny Depp got on, and those long scenes with him, I started to fall asleep.
Oh yeah, the scene with him and Howard, like when he's like, "I think I met the man" or whatever the fuck. It's just I wrote down. I was like, it's just rambling between this crazy nigga and whatever the hell Johnny Depp is doing.
Yeah.
You know, the thing with Kevin Smith that kind of annoyed me, he had this movie called Jersey Girl that I actually
Mm,
really liked. It had J Lo at the beginning. It was like J Lo and Ben Affleck, but J Lo dies. Spoiler in like the first 10 minutes or so. Right?
mm,
It's about him like raising this like half Latino girl in Jersey. It's really cute.
mm.
Liv Tyler's in it. At the end, there's a random like cameo by Will Smith to bring the message home, but it's so fucking hokey and weird. but it's like clearly like, hey, like Kevin Smith like made friends with Will Smith, who's like, oh, I'll do a cool thing for you or whatever, right? But it's just like it felt so manipulative and weird, and like
Yeah.
this was like, hey, clearly he got cool with Johnny Depp. So let me just put Johnny Depp in my movie and have this silly character that completely throws out the movie. Apparently, this character isn't at Yoga Hosers movie with the two girls for the convenience store. I don't know if
Mhm.
we want to watch that. I think it has a young Austin Butler and stuff like that, but I don't know. Like this is part of like a trilogy he did like in Canada.
Yeah.
So
If this character's in it, I don't wanna see it.
yeah, it is. He is prominently
Yeah.
in it, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
I
hated that
like
scene.
it. I would say this is like one of the worst characters I've seen on film this year. Like, actually, and it may be in the 2020s. Like he may be one of the worst characters. I'm just like I literally like he tanked the film for me.
Mm, yeah, it wasn't the line "Poutini weenie" that tanked the movie for you. I don't
I don't
like
remember.
Poutini weenie. You know, it does something to my goods. It makes me sheet. Makes me. I was like, what is this accent?
Yeah,
You know, that's
but again,
you know,
it's that same a character saying it.
but you know, this is definitely like Johnny Depp, where like he didn't give a fuck. Like where he's like, Kevin Smith, you're
Yeah,
not going to direct me. You know what I mean? Like he's that big of a star at that point.
or or was this Johnny Depp trying to do his best um what's his name, Tom Cruise for Tropic Thunder?
I mean, I don't understand the correlation really.
No, but like, somebody who you typically wouldn't see in a film like this, pops up and then like, everybody's just like, "Oh my god, did you see Johnny Depp in, such and such and
Oh,
such?" Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Was he trying to well,
like a
I
scene
mean,
still in
not
cameo. I get what you're saying.
yeah.
Like, yeah, okay.
Like,
Um,
what was that his best attempt? He's like trying to like, "Hey, I'm not going to take myself seriously. I'm Johnny Depp. You typically see me in such and such and such."
yeah,
And then all of a sudden he does this and he does something like some quirky thing, even though
I
like he
believe
does
so.
that with yeah. I think that's what it was, and it was just a massive failure.
Yeah, what's so interesting about Johnny Depp is like, I mean, it's wild, right? Because it's hard for you like as a director to be like, hey, let's go in a different direction. I understand this might be your intuition of like how you think this character should be portrayed. And maybe he and Kevin Smith were like on the same page about how this character should be portrayed. But at the same time, if you're an actor who like truly believes in your conviction of how you want to portray this character, because that's what happened with Jack Sparrow. That was not the way that Jack Sparrow was written. That was not the way they envisioned Jack Sparrow. But he brought that weird Keith Richards vibe to the
Yeah,
character and it worked. Because there was
yeah.
a period like I don't know if we ever reviewed that movie actually on the podcast, but I know for a fact that there's trivia about it where the studio and everyone was like, "This is not going to work. Like he's fucking out of his mind." And then it's, dude, I still remember seeing that opening weekend and be like, "This is incredible. Like this performance is insane. I love it."
Yeah.
Because he was so weird, but then you're like, he's a nigga that's a pirate who's in the sun all the time and drinking rum. Yeah, he's gonna be unhinged. Like, you know what I mean? Like it'd be weird if he was like straight laced and like kind of like, rational. You know what I
This
mean?
is a tale about Captain Jack
Oh my god,
Sparrow.
one of my favorite songs of all time.
Yeah.
Michael
Captain
Bolton,
Jack,
man.
Captain Jack, giant squid.
Oh, you'll appreciate this. That script I was telling you about with
Mhm.
like me like being like a preteen and stuff like that. I have a scene where I talk about how the Doobie Brothers. I'm like playing it during like the kids like listen to it. They're seeing with his white friends, and he's like,
Mhm.
"Yeah, man, Michael McDonald's got like such a soulful black dude," and his white friends like, "The Doobie Brothers are mostly white. I think there's one black guy, but Michael McDonald is not black." And he's like, "Damn it, Michael
Yes, he
McDonald."
is. And you look at a picture like, oh, let's look at it's like
You're like, well, I'm looking at that hair, and some black in there. I don't know. It's a little too curly.
he has to be like a quarter black. He got to be a quarter black.
Shooby-doo, ain't no
If
mountain high enough.
you need to call me on my
Yeah.
way out.
Man, when I'm down, when I'm really, really down, and like even like, some old school Kanye or like, Tribe Can't Get Me Up or Outcast, I listen
Mhm.
to some Michael McDonald Motown covers. It's a weird thing, man. I'm telling you, that album though gets me out of my funk.
Man,
And
i-
Saturday
i-
Night
if
Fever.
if I need a pick me up, I just listen to "Love Lift Us Up Where We Belong."
Just one tear streaming down your face, like fucking Denzel and Glory.
Listen, I gotta say though, fucking Michael Bolton. I know I've had to have talked about this. There is this video, this song. He goes, "Can I touch you there?"
Oh yes, yes, I know that. Yeah,
Have you seen the video for it?
yes, yes. You've showed it on this podcast, I think, like long
That
time ago.
video, guys. If you haven't been listening to this podcast long, please do yourself the favor and look up Michael Bolton. Can I touch you there? This nigga is floating on a raft in the Amazon jungle. Can I touch you there? Touch you deep inside. Oh, can I cross your back?
I can't believe this movie was inspired by a podcast. Kevin Smith like brainstormed this in the Smodcast.
Mm-hmm.
Which, folks, if you want some good Hollywood stories, Kevin Smith has some great ones. Like, go on YouTube and look up Kevin Smith, John Peters, Superman. It's one of the best Hollywood stories. It actually made me read this book about when John Peters took over Warner Brothers and basically like did some wild shit, spent a lot of money. He was Barbara Streisand's hairdresser turned lover, and he ended up running a Hollywood studio. It's fucking crazy. But he talks about John Peters trying to hire him to write Superman. It's a whole thing. It's a really great story. And Kevin Smith has a lot of Hollywood stories. He talks about like working with creatives and like Ben Affleck and like all this stuff. So like I definitely implore you to like check out some of his stories. They're really good. And he's a very visual storyteller. It's weird that his stories, when he tells them audibly, translate better than sometimes when he tries to do them in film. You know what I mean? It's really wild. But we did get some Patriot thoughts on Tusk before we get to our actual rating of this movie. And remember, folks, when you sign up at Patreon at patreon.com/media popcorn, you're guaranteed to have your thoughts and reviews of those films right on that episode. So we got one Patriot thought for this crazy ass movie from Nicole O, who wrote, "Seen it years ago, just disturbing to watch, but kudos for y'all for watching it." Laughing emoji. Yeah, our fans love to see us suffer.
Yep.
And then our producer Lluvia pulled up some letterbox reviews for Tusk. The first one's from Hazel R, who wrote, "This is what Canadians are actually like, by the way. 4 out of 5 stars." In what capacity? Matt Singer wrote, "First third, this is why podcasts are podcasts and not movies. Second third, the human centipede and marijuana are a dangerous combination. Third, Johnny Depp must be stopped." 1.5 out of 5 stars. Imagine this movie is the catalyst for like his ex-wife being like, "I gotta fucking take you to court. Like this cannot stand." Haley wrote, "He's got a podcast. He deserved everything that happened to him." 3 out of 5 stars.
Guys, we have a podcast.
Oh, this is wild. Jay wrote, The Shape of Water. 1.5 out of 5 stars. That's fucking nuts.
That's hilarious.
Bree wrote, "I miss the person I was before I watched this. 0.5 star."
Jeez.
I miss the person I was. That's a good one. Because there are some movies that change you for the worse, for sure.
Yeah.
That's a funny one. And then Jake All the Coffee wrote, "I dragged my dad to see this in theaters back in 2014, and he hated the movie so much he didn't talk to me for a week." 3 out of 5 stars.
I felt like I just gave a fucking oh my god, what's the guy from fucking Goodfellas? When he's fucking laughing at Joe Pesci, he's like,
"Oh yeah, Ray Liotta."
Yeah, Ray Liotta.
R.I.P. man.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh god,
it's so sad that he never reunited with Scorsese. Like Scorsese just must not have liked him because everyone was an Irishman.
Yeah.
Shit. All right, Justin, break down our rating system, baby.
Stop calling me baby. Guys, you know how we do this. We rate movies bags of popcorn, small, medium, large, and the extra for the exceptional. If a film doesn't deserve any hot, buttery, delicious popcorn, we throw it into a stale popcorn pile. We pile piles and piles of stale popcorn on top of it. So, that's Brandon, cool. We watched the 2014 horror film Tusk, a Kevin Smith original with Justin Long, Haley Joel Osment, Michael Parks, Genesis Rodriguez, and fucking Johnny Depp. What say you, sir?
Yeah, this gets oof. I'm going between a small and stale popcorn, but I think I'm gonna go with a stale popcorn. This is a budget of $3 million, so I'm gonna give it 3 piles of stale popcorn. It had a lot of promise, like you said. Like the first act or 2 are solid, except for the fucking flashbacks and like Genesis Rodriguez's monologues are just so bad. And then it just falls off the rails. As soon as we get to the Johnny Depp character, it just gets insane. and not in a fun way. It was like a lot of white nigga babble. It was weird. I didn't like it. So yeah, unfortunately, like, promising start and then just petered out. I don't know if Kevin Smith got like, afraid of just playing it completely straight. I know he's done that though. I think that Green Zone movie or Green Room I've heard is actually a pretty straight horror film. It has Patrick Stewart in it and stuff, but I don't know what happened with this one. So yeah, 3 piles of stale popcorn.
Fair
Justin,
enough, fair
what's
enough.
your rating?
So I agree and I disagree in a sense because like I felt like we could have survived the Genesis Rodriguez monologues if we didn't have Johnny Depp. I think that Johnny Depp was literally the nail in the coffin for this film. Is like I felt like I was like, again really into it up top. Johnny Depp kind of ruined the whole momentum of the film and took it in this weird place where it's like it was trying to be funny, but it was so very much unfunny that it couldn't recover from that. I mean, the ending was also was kind of hokey, but like it was still okay. I think that really Johnny Depp was basically the chef that ruined this soup. That being said, I'm gonna give it a small popcorn.
Okay. All right. Well, still rotten, baby, but not too rotten where you can't put it in your mouth and be like, it's edible. All right.
It's edible.
As always, you can follow the show at Medium P Podcast on all social media platforms. Be sure to go to ko-fi.com/Medium P Podcast and support us. Donate the equivalent of a small coffee or medium popcorn if you like the show and you haven't felt inclined to subscribe to our Patreon for whatever reason. And please leave us a 5-star review on your favorite podcast application. We will read it on the show, as well as if you take a screenshot of that 5-star review and email it to us at mediumpod@gmail.com by October 31st, you'll be automatically entered into our swag giveaway contest. So again,
swag.
Take a screenshot of your 5-star review, send it to us at mediumpod@gmail.com, and you might get some free swag. And as always, you can follow me at Frodo_Blackens on Instagram and Threads, FrodoBlackens.com for upcoming shows. I got a lot of shows coming up in 2026, including final Drum Black History show for this year at ISLO Brooklyn on Tuesday, October 28th. Come through, laugh with us, get some Black Gothic lore in your life. And just how can people follow you as well as support the show financially if they choose to do so, my brother.
Guys, if you want to follow me, come on down to any of the socials at Jay Brown Did It on all social media platforms. Or, guys, you can show some I don't know if you hear Jackson screaming in the background, but you can also support this show on Patreon, patreon.com/medium popcorn. We have $2, $5, $10, and $15 packages. Our entire backlog is on Patreon. We have so much bonus content on Patreon. Guys, it's where you need to be. So again, that's patreon.com/medium popcorn. And if you guys are feeling extra froggy, what can they do, Brandon?
I mean, I already told them about KO.
Oh shit! Sorry. I was hearing in the background.
He's like, I heard my baby crying. I'm talking here about Tusk. I mean, y'all could take yourself over to tpublic.com/media popcorn and get yourself some swag. But again, if you take that 5-star screenshot and you send it to us, you might be able to get some free swag. So
yeah, baby.
If you want to really support the show financially, do the 5-star review and or patreon.com/media popcorn or coffee.com/media popcorn. It all helps the show. Check the show notes. We got the links in there, baby.
Yeah, baby. Come on now.
All right. Don't put me in the suit, bro. Don't ever put me in a meat suit. That's all I'm asking from you. That's a friend.
Yeah. Don't cut off my legs and sew my arms to my chest.
Oh God, man. Justin Long's characters, they could.
Bad day, brother. Bad day.
Dark stuff. All right, y'all. Catch y'all soon. Peace.
These are the films that should only be watched as a matinee. We watch them so you don't have to waste your time and possibly end your life. medium pop. Medium. Oh yeah. Medium popcorn.
Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. Candyman stalks in search of blood to terrorize y'all's neighborhood. And who fears this horrendous sound without the soul for getting down? For we all hope that they burn in hell and rot inside a corpse's shell.
Talking medium pop. Medium popcorn. Oh yeah.
The foulest stench in the air, the funk of 40,000 booty holes in despair, and grisly ghouls from every room are closing in to seal your doom. And though you fight to stay alive, your body starts to shiver, for no weak-ass nigga can resist the evil of the thriller. Ooh, ooh, niggas.